Hello and welcome. My name is Nilaus. This is episode 68 of my Let's Play campaign, My Megabase. This will be the final episode of this series, and what we'll be doing this time is I will explain how this base works, and then we'll do a bit of a base tour. The base tour will primarily just be from a map view, because otherwise we'll spend all of our time in trains. Let's start with, actually I'll switch to my running shoes. Okay, let me start by explaining this base as we get started. Now let's zoom all the way out. Basically, this base you can see here is very rail based. It actually has three main bases. They are very small compared to the overall layout. The majority of the base is actually the solar panels here. 17,000 solar panels, and I'm using pretty much all of it. So that's the first part of it. It's actually working really well up here where there's a train station that then automatically fills out. So I can just take an area and just fill it out, and then it'll be where. Now it has three primary stations. This one, actually let's start with the one that is probably most idle at this point. This is the factory, or the Factorio. This produces all sorts of weird random stuff. And what I do is I have my expansion train coming in here on, so I can tag on 2 extra wagons for. Okay, sorry, that was me getting derailed by this. And I can tack on a couple of extra if I want to go out expanding. I also have my solar panel train, but this location here is producing, you can see here, all the stuff like inserters and belts if I should choose, robots, lights, solar panels, modules, all of that stuff that I'd need heading out. It does not produce anything that involves uranium, but because I just haven't set that up. So this indicator is part of the rail control that indicates if we have enough in the base. As long as there are 2 green, then it is the full storage that is actually corresponding to above 200,000. So that means there's 200,000 in this storage, and that's where I really like to be. The one thing that's low is only batteries. It is at 70,000, so that could need another train coming in. That's the one base. Now let's zoom across to the next one. This base is active, very active. This is my rocket base. Let's go up here. This produces 1 rocket per minute, actually a bit more than 1 rocket per minute. But it's designed to be functioning at 1,000 science per minute. Haha, not per second. 1,000 science per minute. And that's what it's designed for. And this will produce pretty much it. Not much more, not much less. And this produces simply like rocket fuel. It produces low density structures. It produces the control units. And then additionally, it also produces some of these things that are exclusively for the satellite. Which is kind of strange because now this actually means that I have to bring in a couple of additional materials. You can see here a train coming in. And again, the train controls here, the only thing that isn't up to 200, and that just popped up to 200,000. So everything here needs to be at 200,000 as well. I'll explain the train cycles afterwards. The last of my 3 active bases is this one. This is also a very active base. This is my science base. This is actually where I'm located. So I can run up here. Let's have a look at what's going on. This one produces about 1,000 science per minute. Let's have a look at the production values. Boom, where are we at? We are here. That one, and that one is a bit low at this point. But all the other things, they are at exactly 1,000. That one is, why is that producing less? That's actually a bit strange. These are consuming 1.1. I had to scale it just ever so slightly above. They can scale up to match this, but as it is now, there are also buffers built up here and there. You see here, this one is the gray science. I'm not going to do any military because I don't bother with military at this point. There's no point to it. So this one has, everything is designed to hit exactly 1.1. So from here, scaling it up to 2, in one way you could say, yeah, just build another one of these. But in the other scale, you could say, yes, a hell of a lot of additional work to do. You just switch it over to this big one. And you can see here now another train comes in. And trains keep coming in here all the time. And I'm just going to run through. Oh, that was very, very close to me getting run over. You can see here things are just ever so slightly dipping below. Here I want 500,000. of my main materials, 500,000. I can accept 200,000 in terms of coal, stone, and also I have 143,000. So that's pretty good. And all the other ones are still active. Now let's walk through sort of the science of my train signals. Oh, okay, one more part of the base. This base down here that we're looking at is actually, this is the starting location for my vanilla done right campaign that I hope you've also seen on my site. It's this is what we built, and we built the main boss here, but right now it's just a derelict base, completely idle. You have belts going to nowhere. You have things that are just completely idle because all the belts have been unhooked, but they're still, I mean, they're standing there proud, but idle. I should basically take it out, but then again, have things like this that is used. Now let's look at the train network. This is the controller of the train. It listens to the input. This is to the logistics train network, gets it in here. It, for example, let's take red science. I think that's a good example actually. If it is less than 500,000, then it will send a signal. It is not less than 500,000. If it's less than 250,000, it'll send a signal. If it's less, and it'll send it on the green wire going into the green network. So here we can see these are the green items. For example, this one. Three matches here. And this one will send a green signal. Yeah, is it less than 500? Yes, it is. You can see it's 493. That means it sends a signal of 3 to network because it means 1. The way I've structured it is that if I need 1 train, then I send a signal of 1. The demand side, the green wire is the demand side. If I need 1 train, I send a signal of 1. If I need 2 trains, I send a signal of 1 and 10. So that's 11. If I need 3 trains, it's 1, 10, and 100. So it's 111. And that's how I can see it over here. So for example, if the W disappeared, W is steel for rocket, that I can remember. So let's have a look at, for example, okay, here's the copper coming in. And now if we look at the copper at this point again, it is now over 500,000 and there's no 3 signal anymore. So that's the demand side, but it has to match the supply side. It is important. The supply side, for example, for the red ones is this little thing here is feeding all my red circuits. It's actually ironic that, surprising that it can. So this one is then monitoring the content of these boxes. They're all wired on the red side. The red is the supply side of the business. This one is 460,000. And then I have marked these. Ironically, I can't actually see those from a distance, but I can do this. This is actually a neat little trick if you want to see something that's far away. So basically I can say, if it's less than 64, that's a full train of 8. That's 8 trains I run with. If there's more than 64, then the supply side will say, yes, I'm sending a 1 signal 6. Which matches this one. So basically, if this one says I need 1 train, and this one says I have enough for 1 train, that's a match, and I'll dispatch a train. If, for example, this one says, oh, I have, in the case that it does, it'll have more than this one, more than 384,000, then it will say on the demand side, I have 111 in terms of the signal 6. We'll just monitor it to see if it's correct. If you look at the top row, the red signals are the demand side, or no, red signals are the supply side, the green signals are the demand side. So you can see here the supply is much higher than the demand, which means that the system is overall idle and it is functioning well right now. And the other ones are additional signals used other places. Let's have a look well, actually I don't need to go anywhere. I can look at one of the dispatch where I park my trains. So that was train number 6. Let's have a look at train number 6, what that looks like. Oh, actually, let's drive there. I will drive to, here we have all these. They are at a parking location that's called Red Circuit 2 Science 1. go. Let's enjoy the ride. Here we have more stone coming in. Stone is for the science, for the stone bricks. That's for the purple science, if you recall correctly. And this train network, it is definitely not overloaded at this point. You can see that there are trains running here and there, and it's working really smoothly. But it is not congested network. And it is not congested because of the way that it is structured. Oh, was that really what I saw it was? Ah, look at that. Wow, I must have rebuilt. Oh yeah, I rebuilt this one like not too long ago. Interesting. All right, it still works, but it's just a bit strange. Okay, and these huge intersections, they are designed so that trains can pass through them without getting in trouble. And I should be driving here. Yeah, I won't be able to go in. Should I do something risky? I will. I'll do manual driving. I'll just keep an eye out for what is going on. And let's see which one is 6. Oh, it's actually down there. Now I'm even reversing. This is crazy. That one. You are going to park red. That one. And can you then, what happens if I do this? Okay, it doesn't go bump. Okay, so at this location, I have all of the signals on the wires. The red is supply, the green is demand. I take the signals over here and say, if the supply is greater than 1, if the demand is greater than 1, then send a green signal. That sends green signal in here. If there are 2 green signals, if when it's parked, if the green signal is equal to 2, it dispatches. Additionally, I've made a condition here that says if it is less than 2, then it will be enabled, which means that the second this one switches to 2, this will be dispatched and the signal here will close. The reason why the signal will close because this one runs on a triangle. So it goes park, pick up, delivery, park, pick up, delivery. However, if the demand and supply needs to go back and forth, there's no point in going back to the parking. So that means if there is a constant demand and a constant supply, it will just go back and forth, pick up, delivery, until one of them cannot keep up. Maybe the supply is running out or the demand has been fulfilled, and it goes. So I will just, I kind of need my train to go out here. So I'll just manually dispatch it because otherwise my own train will not be going out. Actually, I should have been on the other train. Damn. We will go back to the rocket. Go. And in the meantime, we can take a look at this location. This is the train we just sent off. Let's have a look. It goes in and picks up something that technically isn't really necessary. This is as fast as we can possibly load a train. And it looks brilliant. I have actually made a slight mistake here. The mistake is that I have both filled up all of these. And I have unfortunately forgot to cap these. So on top of what I have in the boxes, 400 and I don't know, 25,000 at this point, I also have on top of it 250,000 in the storage. So basically I have, I don't know, I can't even calculate those kind of numbers. I have 700,000 red circuits in stock. I had the same problem down here with the blue circuits, but I did manage to fix it because I was using a hell of a lot of green circuits. See, this one is idle. All 3 things coming in. Plenty of green circuits. Wow, plenty of green circuits in terms of having a blue circuit. Also red and also sulfur. And up here we have, 384,000 just waiting to be picked up. Let's go back to... This is the rocket. The rocket is just completely happy. And it is running... Oh, let's see. Look at that. They're missing some lights in here, aren't there? That's when I made these blueprints. I forgot to put lights in them. What a major disaster. We cannot allow that to happen. So some of this one, for example, if we look at this particular one, let's zoom out so we zoom in so we can see less. So this one is just creating speed mods as fast as possible. This is speed creating on a 15-second cycle. This is on a 30-second cycle. So, and this will even be slowed down further. So this one can easily feed to, and that's why it goes in here. It's still at a crazy amount, but it's a recommendation is if you build big bases, do not use wire conditions here, because wire conditions check every tick, and that just eats a UPS. So in this case, even though it's a bit wasted to have 50 in here, it's better to do it that way. It's just a fixed installment. And up here we have my 2 rocket bases. How are they doing now? Let's have a look. Yeah. There's always one of them that's lagging. It's a bit different. Sometimes it's one, sometimes it's the other. It just, it seems like a pretty good, it seems pretty okay. And you can see up here, once a rocket leaves, it'll be put into this location. Once it's put up here, the train will come back. There's a train going back and forth. And it'll be brought back to the science. I will just see if I'm a bit of luck, I can get another one in before the train comes back. It is actually a bit surprising why that train is not here. Where is that train? Are you stuck? No, it's coming back. Come on, 95, 97, 98. Go faster. They're preparing. I'm not sure it will actually make it. And now the train comes in, the small train comes in up here. Just gonna wait. You're gonna wait a bit. Until full or 5 seconds of inactivity. Oh, hold on, stop. I'm gonna wait here a bit because I'm gonna take these with me. And then we're gonna go to the other one. Just follow this train along to its next road. But then also take the other one, I guess. Might be nice to go over there with a bit more. Now we get to launch some rockets. And everything is just working as long as the mines are not running out. I mean, just look at this one. I still have 15 and 14, so this one is pretty efficient. That's my green circuits here. And there we go. Now I can... I don't think I can do this yet. These have to empty. Okay, now they're empty. Come on. And go. Should go 5 seconds of inactivity and then it'll go. Perfect. Let's just head to the next base. And there we're carrying 3,000. This could be sort of staying a bit longer. Okay, you could see here. These three dipped below 200,000, but then immediately comes back up because all the things that goes on here. 400,000 or 4,000 robots are active. There are plenty of storage space, but once trains come in, sure, they'll be a bit busy. And now the next one comes in. I wonder if they actually can keep up. Oh yeah, red trains and blue trains, they're the busiest ones. That's for sure. And I just love seeing that. That's like, oh, there we go. That was 64,000 green circuits running the other way. That train, they're heading in the other direction. And we are now, of course, ideally, I should be designing these two bases very close to each other. I mean, I could have made them right next to each other, but I really wanted this kind of feel. Oh, there's a lot of this we were using. I wanted this kind of feel where things are working. And okay, actually, I think we would like a bit more robots in. That I can do. I can take you. That's the one we've been working on. I can take you over to science because this one has always has 1,000 robots. I might as well just make sure that robots are not my constraining factor in terms of science. Is it? It is actually. Wow, there's something that. Oh, I thought I had fixed that. It's these bloody things. Right? Isn't it? It's the purple science. Where are the purple science? Someone point me to the purple science. Oh, there is. What are we waiting for? We are waiting for that thing. Why are we waiting for that? Is it... It must be this one, right? I'm suspecting that this is it. I'm not 100% sure. It could be just the fact that these guys up here are not fast enough. It's simply the loading part that's missing. Yeah. See, they're as fast as they can be, but it's simply loading that's missing. And I can mitigate some of it, but I can't mitigate all of it. For example, I can mitigate these two. I think. No, I cannot. But that one I can then. Yeah, that one up here. Unfortunately, only one. Which will just make this one ever so slightly faster. I'm gonna have to get a few more of these. Let's copy this one. It's actually more important than this one I removed. This one I removed was just an extra one. So remove that and instead place that one. It's probably a good place to put it. And I will be able to remove this one, so do that. Go. Why do I carry around that crap? Let's put that in. Okay, so science is running. I just need a few more robots here. Let's see, the robots are in here. Boom. Get more robots, and get more robots. Did they all get busy? Wow, they all got busy. That was so the last thing I wanted to show is kind of some of my outposts. This outpost is my steel outpost. It is pretty big. I started just having one like this steel outpost and found out that's not fast enough. Then I had two. Then I tacked on a third one of these blocks. The brilliant thing about having these kind of blocks is that you can just scale it according to how many blocks do you need. This one is, I don't know, is anything inbound to this location? Yep, that one is now coming in. So it's not coming in the second it was available. It came in because now the demand is there. If we zoom out, that is, I've used about 2 million since I started this. It's very recent, and I have another one of these here as well. Steel is extremely consuming here. And then I have another one of my good recent bases is a direct smelting. So it goes directly from two mining locations. It was quite fortunate. I had two big ones next to each other. And actually the ratio is pretty close to perfect. You need, with 40% productivity on these, what are they called? They're called copper wire. Then it's only slightly more than 1-to-1 match. It's like 1.1 to 1.0 between copper and iron for this. And they are just producing here. There's a lot of inserters, but it works really, really well. And it is pretty condensed, so it's also very efficient. And this is also one that I can just scale it out as much as I want on both sides. And it has fulfilled the demand and delivered all of that. What else can we have a look at in terms of what is working? Well, this old base here, it is still producing something. The parts that it's producing is oil. Let's see here, it is producing, it's basically taking a lot of this oil. If we look at the network, you can see in the lower left right hand corner, I have 329,000 barrels of crude oil. Yeah, that's a lot. And I just keep getting more. And the way of doing this is because I have up here, yes, it's not particularly efficient, the fact that it's up here. I'm just keep getting coal deposits, and all the coal I get, I just convert it directly into oil. It works. That works really well. It converts into oil. It just puts all of these oil into barrels. They'll be used different places. We will use the petroleum, and up here we will refine further. So they'll just keep cracking as well until I have all the ones I need. I think it's 5,000 I have requested. 12,000 actually. Wow. So oil is definitely not a problem, and it's just consuming oil. It's producing everything I need. Up this one is an old signal from the good old early base time. And this is one that is producing plastic. So I'm also increasing the plastic production. This is a desperate attempt to actually consume all of this. And it's not really working, to be honest. These guys are working, and that means over here I should have some nukes. That's also the only one that is actually working here. The rest is just idle things. I have this one, a train that goes in and out just picking up coal, but I'm unable to keep the coal in stock because everything gets converted. It's of course highly inefficient to have it inbound here and produced it, I don't know where, there. But that's just it. And the nuclear power, let's also just look at that. I've designed this myself and I'm extremely happy with it. It is able to be serviced both by belts. Then the belts can come in here and go around and they have a delicate pattern, or just replacing it easy with robots. So this is a really cool setup. It also has these storage tanks as a kind of accumulator. And aside from this, just normal smelting bases. This is a standard smelting base, and it also works really well. So with that, let's look at the worker speed. It takes quite a bit of time at this point, and that's basically just letting it run. The whole thing is working as it should, and it's just slightly dipping here in terms of iron. It needs to go a bit faster back and forth. That just fluctuates a bit. And with that, I think we're gonna wrap up this series. If you have any questions, please let me know. I might play a bit with it on Twitch, but I honestly feel that this one is pretty much done. And if you've been following all the way to the end and not just clicked on, then there's a bit of a teaser, and that is as of tomorrow, my new series will start up. It's going to be a really exciting series, and I hope it's going to be exciting for me, that's for sure. And what it will do is it'll be focused, while this one is extremely focused on trains and bots, then the next one will not have any trains, it will not have any robots, it will not have any barrels. So the three things that are most dominant here will be completely out. It will be an exclusively belt-based space. That's probably what I'm calling the series. So that'll teach me and you how to make some cool designs only using belts. And it's gonna be well designed, that I can promise you that. Well, I can try it at least. Anyway, thank you very much for joining. Thank you for following this series, and thank you for supporting me. If you haven't already, be sure to like and subscribe. It's particularly subscribe, and then you'll be the first to know when new content comes up. So with that, thank you very much for joining. I hope to see you somewhere else on the channel, on Discord, and have a good time. Bye.